Working with tables in Word. Tables are used to display data in a table format. Tables are virtually unlimited in both their size and the ability to be modified. You can create a table with just one cell, with 2 cells, and even with 1,000 of cells or more. Table cells, rows, and columns can be added, deleted, split, and merged at any time. Tables consist of rows and columns, called cells, that you can fill with text or graphics. Text wraps allow continuation of text in a single cell. Let's take a look at how to create a table in Word. So you can begin creating a table by using one of the following options. Firstly, go to the Insert tab. The first option allows you to create a quick table using the Quick Tables option. So select the number of rows by choosing the number of squares on the grid, and then move to your right to select the number of columns. The second option allows you to create a table by dragging a table after choosing the number of rows and columns with your mouse. Insert. Go to the second option, which is Insert Table. You can choose the number of columns. So let's say we want 4 columns and 3 rows, and OK. And now we can just drag to resize the table. The third option allows you to insert a table by drawing it. This is where you could actually design your own table by using a little pen. So draw table, you would actually use the pencil and draw out each row and column. I'm just going to activate my pencil again. So let's say this column should be thicker, and then I can draw out the rows. I'm not really a fan of this. I feel it's very time consuming, but it's a good option to use. Okay. So that is the third way. So I can actually just move it on next to number 3. Okay, it doesn't want to go next to number 3. It's fine. I'm just going to quickly resize it. Oh, there we go. Moving it around. The next option that you have is to create a table using the Excel spreadsheet. So you can actually insert an Excel spreadsheet into your Word document. Okay, I'm just waiting for my spreadsheet to activate. And there you go. So this is a little snippet of the Excel worksheet in my Word document. So I can say day, just randomly entering information, day, date, and the time. And I can go to, you will notice now that your ribbon has changed. It's actually the Excel interface that you're having a look at here. When I click away from the table, we're back to the Word interface. There's my little table, and this is what it looks like. So that is actually the fourth option that you have. You can resize the table as well. You also have another option. You could call it the fifth option. We can call it number 5. Insert table, and you could choose quick tables where Word has these preset layouts that you could use for a table. And These pre-formatted tables can easily be inserted. So if I want to choose one of the layouts, let's say I'm going to choose this, I'm just scrolling down to have a look at them. Let's just use a simple one. Let's choose this enrollment in local universities. Okay, so now that I've inserted this pre-formatted table, I can go and change all the information. So I'm going to say maybe functions 2020. Not much happened in 2020 because of the pandemic, but I could do that. I could type in the month of the year, the type of function, number of guests, and maybe a rating from the host. So this is assuming that I'm actually maybe a catering company or an events management company. I could go and add information here. You will notice very simply, I just clicked on the alternate text and I replaced it with my own text, and I could do that for the rest of the table as well. I'm going to work on my basic table number 1. You need to click on the table to activate the table again. Once the table is inserted and active, you will notice that you have a contextual tab at the top called Table Tools. Table Tools comes with 2 other tabs. The Design tab, where you could actually customize or personalize the design. You could choose a style from the Table Styles group. So let's say I actually want to choose something with black and gray. I could choose that style for my table. And I could also then tweak it a little bit with the table style options. I actually go to this after choosing a style. Perhaps the header row is actually checked. What this means is that it stands out, it's highlighted in a darker, deeper color. So this one is black. I can take away the tick, and now the header row is just the alternate color banded rows. Okay, I could take away the tick from banded rows, and then I have a plain and simple table. I could choose the banded columns option. So the alternate column is actually gray, and it alternates between white and gray. I prefer banded rows. You cannot have both because there is some sort of confusion somewhere down the line. The last column, if I tick last column, will contain text in bold just to highlight some sort of closure in everything. So notice what I've just done. I've clicked away from the table. I no longer have Table Tools. To get the Table Tools back again, I can click anywhere on my table. Table Tools are now there. I can add shading to cells or to the entire table. I can go and customize the border style. I can paint a border if I want to. Under Table Tools Layout, in the Layout tab, I can draw a new table. I can erase aspects of the table or borders, or use the eraser to merge cells. I can delete a cell, a column, a row, and delete a table. If I want to delete a table, I need to select the entire table and then say delete table. I actually want my table back again, so I'm going to undo. I'm working on the Layout tab. We can insert rows or columns. So to insert a row above the column that I'm standing on, so I'm actually standing in row 2, and it's just one column. So I can insert above and it will insert a column above the one that my cursor is placed in. If I say insert below, it will insert the column below the one that my cursor is standing in. I can insert a column by inserting to the left. Okay, the column will now appear to the left of the existing column. Insert to the right, and the column will now appear to the right of the existing column. I'm just going to change my table style in this example so we can see the different columns. Something nice in the layout tab is that you can actually merge cells. So if I select two cells, I can merge them and make them one cell. Okay. You can split cells or split a table. So I can stand perhaps in the third row and I can say split the table. So I now have two parts of this table. Auto fit in the cell size group allows you to choose options such as auto fit the contents if the table or the positioning of the text isn't done precisely with uneven column widths and row heights. You could auto fit contents, auto fit window, or fix a column width. You can change the height and width of a column. So I'm actually just now going to show you how to do that without using the cell size group. So you will notice when you select your table, you have a little square at the end of your table on your right-hand side. If I click on the square, I can drag diagonally or downwards to increase the row height, okay, to make the rows bigger. If I drag to the right, I can increase the column width, okay? So that enables us to resize the table. Sometimes when you're working with the tables, I'm just moving to the other part of my table now, you tend to have uneven rows or columns. So if I select my table, select all the rows and columns in my table by clicking on the forward pointing arrow within the square, I want to now distribute the rows evenly because one row is really big and the others are quite narrow. So I can click on distribute rows evenly. I can do the same for the column if they are unevenly distributed. So I just select my table and I go to distribute columns evenly. That's actually quite nice to use with the tables. In the alignment group under Table Tools Layout tab, you can choose how you would like the text to be aligned. So you could choose from one of the 9 options that you have: align to the top left, align center, but to the top, align right at the top. Then you have other options: align center left, align center, align center right, align bottom left, align bottom center, align bottom right. So if I had to type in date, time, let's say visitor's name. I'm actually doing a visitation schedule. Visitor's name and company signature. Okay, I can select my table and I can choose the appropriate alignment that I'd like to use. Perhaps I would like it to be aligned in the center. I can do that. I can actually resize my table. I can select the first row. Any formatting with regards to text You can return to the home group and you can do it in the font group. So I want to bold all of them. There we go. I'm going back to the layout tab. So that is the text alignment. You can change the text direction. Let's try it with the first column. I'm going to click on text direction in the alignment group, and I could actually just change and rotate the text. Now I'll go back to what it originally was. You can sort, so if you've got a list of names, you can sort the selection alphabetically or numerically. You can repeat the header rows. Now, this is something that I really like. I'm just going to go and add more rows of columns. I haven't shown that to you as yet, but anyways, if you'd like to add rows or columns, you can click on the plus sign that comes up at the end of every row. So I'm just going to add, in fact, I'm going to add more than one. To do that, I select 4 rows and then I click on plus and it will insert 4 additional rows. There we go. That's exactly what I want. So my table is moving over to the next page. And if I had information here, I really wouldn't know what it means. So let's say 2304, 2020. All I know is that this is a date format. There's a time. Maybe I'll say PM. There's a name. So what I'd actually want to do here is I want to repeat the header rows. So I can go select my header row and click under Table Tools Layout, Repeat Header Row. Have a look at that. So when my table goes over to the next page, it repeats the header row. So I actually know what this information is about. Under the data group, you can also convert to text. So if you no longer wish to have the information in a table, you can convert the table to text, and you can choose how the information should be separated. So paragraph marks or tabs, and then you can just say, okay, there's the information, no longer in the table format. And that, in a nutshell, covers the table tools, the design tab, as well as the layout tab. There are many ways to insert and to delete rows and columns. If I'm standing in a cell, I can also right-click to delete cells or to insert rows and columns. So the right-click option is also available. I've shown you the option on the ribbon, and I've shown you the option of clicking the plus sign on the table underneath the row that you would like to insert. That covers table tools. Please remember to complete the exercise on table tools and save it into the folder named your name on your desktop.